Hello educators! Yesterday I posted about a web tool I found which allowed me to take a traditional paper-based project and bring it into a digital realm. Many of you found that post helpful and commented about wanting to know more. So I spent some time with this web tool to see if I could take the experience from a fun, hobby-type project to something that can be used by all students in our classrooms. What I found was an opportunity not only to take traditional projects and breathe into them a new digital life, but also a way to provide an opportunity to use this program in our digital backpack of success skills. The goal of the digital backpack is for students to learn through meaningful experiences that require them not only to learn essential content, but also to apply it in ways that are interesting. This is an interesting way to apply learning. Before I show you how to use it, some transparency is required. The web tool I am demonstrating is called Genially. The link is displayed at the bottom of the screen. This video is not sponsored content. I came across this tool by chance and wanted to try using it. I loved it. In fact, I immediately thought about how it could be used in a classroom setting. This is also a web tool that has paid tiers. Now, everything I'm going to show you is available on their free tier, but you are able to unlock other features if you want to purchase a subscription. With that said, let's dive into using this tool. All right, so let's get started. I opened up a browser and opened up a tab, and I went to my URL. It's genial.ly, Genial.ly. And the homepage allows me to create an account. Now, I've already created my account. I've used my Google credentials, and I'm ready to go. But at this point, this is where you get started. So we're operating under the idea that I'm going to use a project that typically is paper-based, poster board-based. I'm going to put it into the digital realm. Now, the project that we're going to do an American history project, and I'm going to do it over Mount Rushmore. So before we even begin to do digital work, I've already done the legwork and found out information, found out some quotes, a link to a video that talks about Theodore Roosevelt, some information on George Washington, and some pictures that have to do with Abraham Lincoln. All this stuff I've done before I begin to create my project, just like you would do if you do a normal research poster board type project. So once I create my account, I go in and it takes me to the starting page. Now for this project, we're going to do an interactive image. I love it. I had fun doing this. There are so many other different ways to apply this. Feel free to take your time, energy. I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at all the different ways I can use it, but we are going to create a new interactive image. In doing so, it gives you a tutorial, some examples if you want to use those, but I'm going to create a new one, and I'm doing it over Mount Rushmore. So I'm going to start with a base photo of Mount Rushmore, which I found. I made sure it was appropriate, and I'm going to begin my project with this base picture. The wonderful thing about an interactive image is using this picture that I have about Mount Rushmore, I can take all the information that I did in my research and I can put it on this picture in an interactive way that allows me visually to see what I've done in my research, but then also interactively, as I will show you in just a minute. So on the left-hand side, you've got a lot of different options. For this case, we are doing interactive elements. I'm going to choose the look and the feel of how I choose to interact. So for this example, we're going to start with Thomas Jefferson and a quote that I found that I like about Thomas Jefferson, and I'm going to use the button that has the quote symbol. I'm going to adjust it to the way I like it so it fits the picture. Once I fit the picture, I'm going to choose what type of interaction I want. I can have a window, a link. In this case, the link is not very, or the quote's not very long, so I'm going to use a tooltip. This is where I input my information, but I go back to the piece that I already made and I found, and I'm just going to cut and paste, or I could have typed it if I wanted to, but I paste it onto this information and I press save. And so there are ways that I can manipulate this text if I want. I probably want it a little bit bigger just so that when it comes out it really pops. But I now have my interactive quote with Thomas Jefferson. Now George Washington, I found out some information from a biography. So I'm going to choose another interactive element. In this case, it's going to be some information. Again, I'm going to choose the symbol that I want to represent this information. I'm going to make sure that it's large enough to see. You can put it anywhere on the picture. In this case, since it's information, I want a window. It brings me to another text input area. I go to the information I already found, cited, and had checked. I copy it, paste it right onto the board, and I'm going to save it. So these are ways that you can use text and information, and I'll show you what it looks like interactively in just a minute. For Teddy Roosevelt, I wanted to find a video off YouTube that really described and showed information about his life. And so in this case, I'm going to find a button. And again, there's other buttons you can use, but I'm going to use the play button. Since it's a video interaction, I'm going to make the button large enough where I can see it. And when I open it up, I'm actually going to link the URL of the YouTube video that I chose. So in this case, it's a YouTube video. And I'm going to paste the link, which is the wrong one. Going back to going to copy this. Even in demonstration, it reminds me that I'm a human being. I'm going to paste it. And I have the option of opening up in a new tab or opening on this window. I want the new tab because I don't want, when I'm presenting this information, for this to take me to a different place. I want another tab to open up so I can see it. So I'm going to save it. And there's my interaction. Last one is President Lincoln. This time, my challenge was I want to find pictures of President Lincoln. So I'm going to use the tab that looks very much like the picture icon. Put it over here this time. And I'm going to then add my pictures. And I can do it in a window. There's an option of inserting image. I'm going to select where I want my images to be found because, again, I did my work beforehand. I'm going to look and show pictures of his birthplace, the national park. And there's an option that I can caption it. I can write some information about it. I have another picture that I want to put in. This is the cabin, or a replica as much as possible, the cabin that he was born in. Once I have that where I want it to be, I will save it. So I got my information. Now I want a title. And I'm going to put my text in. And I love this title option. This is the awesome title. And let's see. Let's call this My History Project. And I want it large. Let's see. I'm going to make my text a little bit bigger so I can see it. It needs to be bold. I like bold text. So now that my title is on here, and I could put Mount Rushmore, I could put my name. Delete these if I don't want to use them. So basically right here, I have completed all the editing and I want to see what it looks like. So there's a preview button. Here's where really it comes alive. So this is what people would see if they were presented it. I take my mouse, I click over George Washington, I click the interaction button, and here's my text. Here's my link that if I wanted to link to it, I can go to it, tell me a little bit about George Washington. Same thing with Thomas Jefferson. This is a pop-up though. And so I predict future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them. Teddy Roosevelt, I click on the button, it takes me to the YouTube video that talks about Teddy Roosevelt and the biography piece that he had.
I'm Amy McGrath and I approve this message.
As there's a nice little ad in YouTube. And then same thing for President Lincoln. I click on the pictures and it will show me the pictures that I found and I can talk about. So a really neat way to display my information that's not just paper and not just poster board. But here's where I really find some application is I can take this information and let's say I wanted to add it to my backpack. Well, a backpack is on a Google slide. All I need to do is I'm going to link this information. So let me go back to edit. I'm going to share it where people can see it. So now this is the window where they can interact and it gives you a link to this window. So I'm going to take my snipping tool and I'm going to produce an image, or I'm going to snip an image of this project. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to my Google slide. I'm going to paste it. Now I want to link this picture to this site where they can actually interact with my project. So I will make sure I have my picture highlighted, click on my link. I need to capture my link first of all. Then I make sure my link is captured in here, and I apply it. So now, when you present part of this project, you're presenting and talking about your history project. By clicking on it, it takes you to the actual window where you can interact with the project, you can talk about the project just like we did. The opportunities are endless for this, but I just think it's an awesome way to allow some creativity in what would normally be, I can take a picture of my poster board, upload it on my slide, and talk about it. Well, now I can actually have my slide, and I can interact with my slide, and the information pops out, and my presentation is complete.
As you can see, the opportunities for application with this web tool are countless. I am not urging that all students in every classroom use this tool. Many considerations need to be thought through before implementation in a classroom. What I am presenting is another way that we can allow students to demonstrate their learning in a way that is engaging and innovative. I look forward to seeing the amazing projects created this year. Let me know how things go. Thank you for watching this video.